Back on Christina Pascucci, and on of our veterans, we're bringing a very serious issue to light. What happens when a serviceman or woman returns from overseas? Almost 40% of those who return from Iraq are diagnosed with a mental health issue. And joining us now to talk more about this is a veteran from Operation Desert Storm, Major Lorna Hudson. Thank you so much for being here.
Oh, thank you for having me.
More importantly, thank you for your service.
Absolutely, absolutely.
So you're included in a statistic of people who have been diagnosed with this sort of mental health issue. You're diagnosed with post-traumatic stress disorder, right?
That's correct, and MST, which is military sexual trauma.
So tell me, I mean, overseas it was very hard for you. Do you want to talk about some of your experiences there?
When you are in a war zone, basically it's a 24-hour operation. So you really don't have a set routine because anything can happen at any given time. And usually you want to be prepared, but sometimes you're not. So just to see the devastation is very hard to imagine to a normal person. And so when, at first when I experienced it, it was a shocker to me, but after a while it kind of grew on me. However, you deal with it after you're done, and then it all starts to absorb inside of you.
Now, I don't know how much you want to get into it, but you were sexually assaulted overseas. Was it a soldier?
Yes.
And how did you deal with that? Because you can't just go home, you can't get away from it.
Yes, absolutely. No, I kind of kept it all inside because it was my commanding officer. So that made it even difficult to acknowledge and recognize that. So I had to just keep fighting on, And so after I came home, of course, the devastation of it all hit me.
What else happened with your life once you returned home?
Well, I became involved with drugs and alcohol to a high degree. I was admitted to a rehab due to that, and that helped me out. But recently I kind of reverted back to alcohol due to the death of my mom. I had lost my job. It was hard for me to keep down a job. I lost my job, and I had a 5-year-old. So I ended up homeless and very hopeless.
Looking back, seeing what you've been through, seeing what you're going through now, do you regret anything?
Oh, well, no, absolutely not. I mean, service of my country so that we can maintain our freedom is very vital. I do wish that maybe they had resources in place so that when those things did occur, that they were readily handled, and maybe we wouldn't be succumbed by the shame and the guilt.
And before our morning show is over, another veteran will commit suicide. This statistic was absolutely staggering to me, that in 2009, more veterans committed suicide than people who have died in both the Iraq and Afghanistan wars combined. So is this a result of those mental health issues coming home from war?
I would say over 90% of it probably has to do with some mental health issue.
And when I was hearing your story, I mean, I appreciate you and so grateful for you and your service. And it just, listening to your story and what you had to say, I felt almost so selfish that you're sacrificing so much for us. You still have these problems that are lingering. I mean, what can the average citizen do for you? What can Americans do for our veterans who come home once they've served?
There are numerous, thank God, numerous programs that are there to empower the veteran. And I am particularly involved in a program called U.S. Vets, which is in Long Beach at the villages of Cabrillo. So they have provided me with a stable, safe, and sober environment in which to live and in which to deal with my problems. They have lots of assistance in terms of employment, in terms of getting you into transitional housing.
I truly, from the bottom of my heart, thank you so much for what you've done and sacrificed for us.